Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Close Enough podcast. My name is Matthew Wideline.
I'm Antonio Schoeniger.
Today, we're going to be talking all the craziest moments in sports.
All the biggest headlines in the world
And everything that's close enough.
enough.
Eagles Nation, Eagles Super Bowl. We have a parade on Friday. It was a nail biter heading into the game, but as soon as the game happened, I knew we won in the first 15 minutes. So it was truly wonderful
It was
to
fantastic. The first call that they made was an offensive pass interference on A.J. Brown. Total bullshit call.
Yeah.
They tried to keep the Eagles down. They couldn't do it today.
It was crazy. I mean,
good times.
Watching that game, it was just like I felt so nervous watching that game, and then that first drive happened, and like you said, the offensive pass interference call happened.
Stupid.
I'm like, oh my gosh, it's going to be one of those games again. And then as soon as I don't know, as soon as Cooper DeJean had that pick six, I kind of knew instantly that the game was going to be over right then and there, which is
honestly,
pretty crazy.
I lost my voice watching Cooper DeJean intercept that and run it back to the house. I was like, dude, that's the coolest. That's got to be the coolest moment in Super Bowl history.
It was probably the best play I think I've ever seen the Eagles have ever, and I've been watching the Eagles since I was a little kid.
Yeah.
So, that was probably the best moment I think I've ever seen as an Eagles fan.
You put that over the Nick Foles touchdown catch?
over the Philly special?
Yeah, the
or Philly.
That's the one. Honestly,
I think I would. I think I'd
yeah.
put the Cooper DeJean pick six
so.
over that. Even though the Philly special was more pivotal in the game, the Cooper DeJean pick six was just too crazy.
I wouldn't even go that far because it was 10-0, and then he caught that the pick six, and then it made it 17-0.
No, it was pivot. You're right. You're definitely
you
right.
could see Patrick Mahomes basically just kind of gave up at that point. Like you could see it in his eyes.
He did. He didn't look like himself. No. I literally thought that right when the game started. It's like he came out and his coloring didn't look right. He looked just crazy to me.
I think they paid him $10 million just to lose the game so that they would say that the NFL isn't rigged.
Here's the thing. Luck runs out, right? I've seen the compilation of Chiefs games where they're like one play away from losing, and that 14-2 record could have been 8-9. You know what I mean? There's been a bunch of games where it's one play away for them to not even make the playoffs.
Exactly.
So I think their luck ran out. They faced a team that was considerably better than them, and I don't know if they're going to be able to figure it out next year.
Yeah, I don't really know how they're going to do next year.
Their team's old. They have old Travis Kelce. They have old DeAndre Hopkins. What's Xavier Worthy going to do? Is Xavier Worthy really going to make their team go from A to A+? I don't know.
Their defense was pretty good, but their defense against the Eagles was awful.
Yeah. No, it was. Their defense got lit up. Honestly, for me personally, it was a pretty exciting Super Bowl to watch. It was probably one of my favorite Super Bowls ever just because of the result. But a lot of people disagree, and a lot of people said that the Super Bowl was boring and it wasn't a good game. And
it's because the Eagles were up 40-6
exactly.
going into the fourth quarter.
I had a great time. I thought it was a great game, but a lot of people thought it was a boring game.
I was happy.
But I thought the game was exciting, but a lot of people also thought that the halftime show was boring. Oof. Some people thought it was exciting. What do you think about the halftime show?
I think that Kendrick Lamar was trying to be too political. I think he was trying to make some type of statement more than he came out to entertain the fans. I think that his biggest issue coming out was that he played Not Like Us eventually. But the first
he kept hitting at it too. It was weird. He kept looking like he was.
He was trying to build it up, which honestly that's fine. He was playing a bunch of unreleased stuff, and it's the point of this. I'm not hating, but the point of the Super Bowl performance is to pain people, and he just didn't do that. And now a lot of people are gonna be like, "Well, you're just against people that make a political statement." It's just not true. I'm fine with making a political statement, but all he did was make a political statement.
He didn't play swimming pools. Did he play Mad City?
He didn't.
He didn't play Mad City.
He didn't play any of his biggest songs. He played Not Like Us, and that's it.
He played all of his newer stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
And he kept hitting at it the whole time.
Which is fine. He played. He did play Humble, but he played for 10 seconds.
Yeah.
He played DNA. Again, only for 10 seconds, and the rest was just the choreography though was crazy.
Oh yeah, no,
the choreography was insane. The dancing and everything, all the actual performance that he put on for the show, it was dope. But I think that him coming out and playing none of his biggest songs besides Humble and DNA was kind of a waste.
The people that were at the Super Bowl, I heard that they had to plug in Nickelodeon crowd noise to add some sort of flair to the show.
It's so funny, bro.
It's like a Drake and Josh skit when they say a bad joke, but they have to think it's funny, and they plug in the fake laughter. That's what they were doing. They were doing fake crowd noise for Kendrick, just because it was. I mean, here's the thing. It's like, what do you think? Who do you think can afford the Super Bowl? Who can afford to go to the Super Bowl? The $4,000 tickets. I would say an older person is more likely to be able to go to the Super Bowl than someone like me and your age, for example, right? Yeah. So these like people who are in their 50s, 60s, 70s that are going to the Super Bowl, do you think they're listening to Kendrick? Do you think they're like standing up, cheering, hoping that he does a great job? I don't think he is, or I don't think they are. So it's like, I think they got to realize the demographic of people who can afford to go to the Super Bowl. And compare that to who's performing at the halftime show.
I mean, the Super Bowl performances used to be so much better. They used to have like, rock bands. They used to have like
Michael Jackson.
They had Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Eminem.
Yeah.
That was a great performance. They had Shakira. They had Jennifer Lopez.
Shakira did a better job than Kendrick, in my opinion. I think Justin Timberlake did a better job. Rihanna had a better show.
I'd say it's almost on the same level as Maroon 5's performance. Like
they did halftime? Mm-hmm. Oh, no way.
Yeah. I mean, Maroon 5's performance was kind of mid. And to be honest, Kendrick Lamar's performance was kind of mid.
I think they put on a better show than what Kendrick did. Because Kendrick, like, honestly, everyone says how lyrical Kendrick is all the time. But to be honest, I can never really understand what he's saying.
Yeah.
I feel like he's just so, like, I feel like he grabs the mic with two hands and he hovers over it and he just speaks silently into the microphone. And everyone's like, oh my God, he's so deep. And I'm like, bro, I can't even hear what he's saying.
Bro, he's also 5'5", and he came out and he was shorter than like most of the people that were like performing with him, which was another thing that I was like, dude, that's kind of
another
so
thing
strange.
About people who perform is normally like, well, let's just say like Lady Gaga's performing example, right? And she's doing her own choreography and she's dancing. The background dancers, they want them to be not as good looking as her, so that way she looks good
better
compared to the background.
Well, he came out in bell-bottom jeans and a freaking,
I was trying to read
like
what his jacket said the whole time.
A varsity, like one of those.
I'm thinking it was a Prada or an Amiri jacket, but I couldn't even tell.
Because he had it like kind of unzipped, which was like, honestly, it was cool, but the bell-bottom jeans were disgusting. I don't know who told him that was a good idea. That was like the worst thing I've ever seen.
They're size 28 jeans because how short he is, and they look baggy.
So bad. It was like, dude, what are you doing, bro?
Well, I know how we feel about the halftime show. I know we're both not big fans of it, but there's been some tweets from somebody who said they really enjoyed the halftime show.
And what was that?
Ye's tweets said that he quite enjoyed the show. How he enjoys Hitler and how they need a free Diddy and
free Puff. That's what he kept saying. It's like, bro, what are you talking about, bro? I don't know about that one, but the one where he is talking about like fat bitches are like sexually harassing him because he feels harassed.
Oh no, he said that fat women are sexual offenders because they're sexually offending him. Honestly, do you agree with that statement? I think I agree with that statement.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie. When I read that, I thought it was hilarious. But like, I wouldn't go out and say that kind of shit because
I mean I wouldn't post that, but would I say, hey, do I think she should lose weight if she is over 300 pounds? Yes, I think she should lose weight.
Well, another one of his tweets that he put out was that they have fat girls walking the runway now, which honestly is another thing. It's like,
I think that's stupid,
bro. But at the end, it's like you're models are walking the runway, right? Who wants to see a 300-pound girl walking down the aisle wearing like, swimsuits? Me personally, I don't. I am not trying to be sexist or like, offensive, but like, to be honest, like, why are we normalizing fat women or being fat? That's only an American thing. You go to Europe, you don't see that. You go to Africa, you don't see that. You go to, well, in Africa,
Asia.
they don't really have any food, but
we're in the generation where all women have an ego, thinking that they can feel any way they want to feel, and that goes towards bigger girls as well. I mean, big girls think that they can. I mean, the effort you have to put in to pull a 6 nowadays is pretty crazy. You need to put on a Michael Jordan Game 7 flu game performance in order to pull a 6 nowadays when you go to the bar. So,
bro, it really is crazy. I mean, ego that they have, it's like.
It's pretty terrible, honestly.
An overconfident sense of self is what it really is.
Exactly.
Because it's like, dude, what? Bro, you're a 6. You know what I'm saying? Like, get over yourself.
It's
Stop
correct.
being. I think the funniest thing that I've seen on social media recently is this guy went up and talked to this girl, and she was attractive.
Yeah.
But her like bigger friend walked over and stopped him.
The
And
fridge
he
is
goes,
always in the way of the snack.
The fridge always has to protect the snacks.
Of course.
And I thought that was fucking
Of
hilarious.
I mean, here's the thing: when you're spitting game like that, you have to include the bigger girl. If you're going for the girl who looks pretty and she's with a not so good looking friend, you have to talk to both of them. You can't just completely ignore the other girl. You have to be nice to everyone. That's how you have game, is being nice to a group of people.
Well, yeah, you have to be, obviously, don't go up and be like, you're fat, get out of my way.
No,
You have
not
to-
like
You have
that.
to go up and be like, like
Introduce yourself
hey, how
to
you
both of
doing?
them. You know
Yeah,
what I
just
mean?
be like chill. I mean, like, bro, honestly, they say nice guys never win, but it's just not true. Nice guys, especially like nowadays, nice guys do win.
Dude,
because like, what girl doesn't, like, if you walk up and you're just like, confident, you're yourself. I mean, if you're nice or not, I mean, at the end of the day, girls are gonna be like, oh, this guy is like, he's somebody that I could definitely,
I mean,
hang
it
out
depends.
with.
It depends the
So-
scene you're in. I mean, if you're
Well,
out
if you're at a-
drinking,
yeah.
drinking, and then you're out at a random bar and you're nice to that girl for like 30 minutes and you get her number or you get her Instagram or something, she's not gonna think of you as being a nice guy. She's gonna be like, oh, I was drunk and I met this and I gave my number out to this random dude I met at the bar.
Yeah.
It all depends the circumstance.
It does.
It definitely depends the circumstance.
But honestly, like nowadays, I think there's a big shift to going from, because like I mean, here's the thing, a lot of girls are still kind of on that whole wavelength of I want an asshole, but now more than ever, I think girls want more of a sensitive guy, and it's like it's starting to become like a shift in trends, especially for like women now, because it's like, what's the point of having an asshole that like wears his glasses on his motorcycle, drives around, like nobody. That's like a 1980s thing.
Yeah.
Nowadays, everybody wants a guy that like has, treats you well. That's gonna be, someone that you can see yourself actually, raising kids with.
Well, I think the people who disagree. I mean, I agree with your statement completely. But the people, like the women who would disagree with that and be like, "Oh, I want a guy who's
Our
a
hoes.
bad boy," or "I want a guy with money," they don't realize what money is. They don't realize the value of it. For example, I've seen these interviews where people have interviewed girls and they're like, "Oh, how much money does your future husband have to make?" You'd be like, "Oh, he has to make $250,000 a year." Do you know how hard it is to make $250,000 a year?
It's nearly impossible.
It's
200
not impossible.
No,
but
I said nearly, because $250,000 plus is the 1%.
It's the 1% of America, or 1% of the world, you could say.
Well, it's 1% of America. I think it's like 0.8% of the world.
That's crazy.
So-
That's crazy. And what's the likelihood of her finding a guy that could make that much money, and be over 6 foot, and be in good shape,
And treats you well.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? all those
Very slim.
exactly.
Very slim.
That's why I think expectations from women are just so high that
They're ridiculous.
there's some guys feel like they can't even talk to them because they don't fulfill any of those boxes. Which
No,
I mean,
for
that's
sure. Like a checklist.
Yeah.
And then having all of these things that like, you expect out of someone. I
Exactly.
mean, then on the flip side, it's like a guy could do the same thing. You want a girl that's skinny. You want a girl that has blonde hair and blue eyes. You want a girl that would be a good mother. You want a girl that can cook. It's like how fair is that? You know what I mean?
I feel like I don't know. I feel like the boxes that should be checked for women are more reasonable than the ones that the
Oh, for
girls
sure.
are expecting for guys.
Yeah, but I'm just saying like in general, like
I'll be honest. It's like
how fair is that?
if you went to I mean, I know you have a girlfriend, but I'm just saying in general.
If I went to
you
McDonald's?
go to McDonald's, the cashier, she's super pretty.
Oh, okay.
Pretty smile.
I did not know where that was
going. Blonde hair, blue eyes. You know what I mean? Super sweet. Would you go for a girl that works at McDonald's that looks like the girl you would want to be with? I would personally.
Yeah.
But would a
That's
girl
not-
ever look at a guy that's working at McDonald's like that? Never.
It would have to be a very rare type of girl to go to see a guy that works at McDonald's, but basically checks all of her other boxes.
Yeah.
And be like, you know what, I would definitely date that guy. I mean, at the end of the day, it's all about thinking. Well, for women specifically, women have to find a guy that they think is going to provide for them.
Yeah.
And something that, a lot of guys don't do or can't do is provide for the women that they're dating.
That's
And
true.
that's just
A lot of
you know?
brokies out there.
It's not what I meant.
No, it's true. There's a lot of brokies.
I
out
mean,
there.
there definitely is.
If you
I
don't
mean,
have
it's a hard-
$10,000, you're broke.
But I mean, on the flip side of that too, it's like getting a really good job, like a high paid job now, is very difficult.
Oh, for sure.
You know, like it's not
It
like a
definitely
walk
is.
in the park. So there's a lot of different, things that kind of go into it. But
I mean, sometimes I think you just got to switch it up. And I think changing the topic, Luka Doncic did get traded from the Mavericks to the Lakers. He's played 2 games so far, both against the Utah
3.
Jazz. He played 3?
Pretty sure he
you're
played
right.
3.
Yeah, you're right. He
Played
played
3.
3. He played 3.
I'm a Lakers fan. Now, I was very happy because it came out of literally nowhere.
Yeah,
like,
no, it did. It was out of nowhere.
Just out of nowhere. AD goes to the Mavs, Luka goes to the Lakers, and I'm just like, I mean, the GM kind of screwed their organization over at the Mavs,
Well,
which I'm happy with because, the Lakers profited. The Lakers are going to be set for the next 10 years. Luka's honestly the best player in the league right now. So
Do you think LeBron's going to retire anytime soon now that Luka's on the team?
I think LeBron's going to extend. Well, when does his contract expire? At the end of this season, right?
I think end of next year.
End of
I
next
think
year?
I think end of next year. I think he has the option to play next year. If
I
he
think
wants
that he'll extend probably one more year so he could at least get like 2 or 3 good years out of Luka.
I think he could. I think Luka coming to the team is definitely something that prolongs LeBron's career. I mean, here's the AD is great, but AD is
Yeah.
very injury prone, and I don't know if LeBron can win with AD right now.
No.
I mean, he had his moment where he got his ring, but I don't know if that's a right now thing anymore.
No, honestly, AD is getting up there in age. Luka is only 25.
Well, AD played. I mean, did you see the game that Anthony Davis played in? He was amazing through 3 quarters. I think he had over 25 points.
Nice.
He was just controlling everybody. And then he gets hurt in the 4th quarter, and now he's week to week injury. And it's like, dude, you played 1 game. It's like your whole entire when people think of Anthony Davis now, they think of him as being injury prone. He totally just proved the point right there that he couldn't even go 1 game with playing with the Mavs. I feel bad for their fan base, but I mean, here's the thing: Anthony Davis is a good player, and I think that him and Kyrie are going to do really well during the playoffs. But I think getting rid of Luka Doncic was a pretty
terrible
big
move.
mistake.
I'm sorry. You see a guy that's 25 that made 5 All-Star.
He made 5 All-Pros in his first set at 25 years old. He's on 5 All-Pro teams, 5 All-Star selections, and took his team to the finals the year prior.
Yeah, and he's putting up, honestly, some of the best numbers you've ever seen. And you decided to trade him away. He was like the building piece of your entire organization. Mm-hmm. And now you trade him to the Lakers, and he's going to have a way bigger platform because he's
in LA.
I mean, he's in LA.
Crypto arena and
it's amazing. It's honestly like the best thing that could have happened to the Lakers right now. And yeah, of course, now we have to. I think we just assigned Steven Adams or something.
No,
as
it
a
wasn't
center.
Steve Adams. It was some other.
Who was it?
Some other foreign white guy. I couldn't tell you.
Well, we signed another a center.
Yeah.
Did you? But like, honestly, that was great. That was a great trade. Did you see the trade with Dalton Connect?
Oh, that got rescinded?
Yeah, that got rescinded.
Mark Williams
and we were supposed to get Mark Williams, and I guess the trade broke down because of some like
an injury that
complications.
Williams had. Yeah.
Yeah. So Dalton Connect was literally, and I watched this earlier today. He was on the flight going to
Charlotte.
To Charlotte, mm-hmm. and they basically turned him around.
They did.
and told
They're
him
like,
to come
hey
back.
man, the trade's not going through. You gotta play with the Lakers. You gotta play with LeBron. You gotta play with Luka. You're gonna have a nice time. Honestly, what I think is gonna happen, I think the Lakers are gonna win the championship this year. I think that the Lakers have something in common that the Eagles have.
They did.
The Eagles have the exciting whites, number 32 and number 33, Reed Blankenship and Cooper DeJean. And the Lakers have Luka Doncic
And Austin
Reeves.
77 and
And Dalton
17.
Connect.
And there's also 77 to 17. And
Exactly.
LeBron posted a picture saying, dude, which is like crazy. He posted a picture of Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves and LeBron in the middle of the court, right, at the Lakers arena. And he said 77 and 17 are cold. And he was like, how lucky am I? And I was like, bro, Austin Reeves looking at that must have been like, dude, this is like
time.
the biggest confidence boost you can ever have.
I mean, to have
like, that's crazy.
LeBron co-sign you on his Instagram is pretty huge.
Because like everybody signed, like everyone has been saying Luka Doncic is amazing for the past 5 years.
Yeah.
But now Austin Reeves is coming into his own. It's going to be hard to beat
Yeah,
the
he
Lakers.
scored over 40 the other day. It's impressive to watch.
He scored 37, 35, 40. Like, this season, he's been going off. Like, he's
No,
been
big
really
time.
good. And he's hit a couple of game winners, too, which is, like, really good.
Yeah, it was pretty impressive. I mean, another
So-
trade that happened too. Jimmy Butler got traded to the Warriors. Him and Steph Curry are a duo now. Honestly, I watched the game yesterday against the Mavs, and they play pretty well together. Jimmy Butler is still Jimmy buckets for sure. He's
Yeah.
still an amazing player, and him and Steph Curry too. I mean, they're going to be sleepers in the West for
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
Because Steph Curry knows how to win in the playoffs.
Steph
so.
Curry is great. Bro, Steph Curry is, I mean, I've already said this. He's the best shooter of all time.
Jimmy
arguably.
Butler's been to the playoffs.
Jimmy Butler's
Butler's
good.
been to the finals, excuse me. Steph Curry's won 3 or 4 rings. It's like they both know how to win
They do.
in big moments.
And they're both
So,
just like, they're both so good and they complement each other too.
Oh,
Because
they do.
Steph's the shooter, Jimmy likes to drive in the paint. Obviously, the Mavs are going to challenge the Lakers still. You know,
the Mavs aren't bad. I mean, as much
Mavs
as
aren't
much trash we talked on the Mavs are still a good team, and they can
Yeah.
for sure win. It's just for the long term, they made a mistake.
And the Oklahoma City Thunder also, aren't they?
Oh, they're so good.
Dude, aren't they like,
They're number 1 in the West.
Yeah.
Shea drops over 40 every game.
bro? Shea Gilgeous Alexander is crazy.
You know about the trade that happened, right? On how Shea got to the Thunder? So Shea was originally drafted by the Clippers, and Paul George was on the Thunder. And the Thunder traded Paul George to the Clippers, and the Clippers gave them a bunch of draft picks and Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. So who do you think won that trade? As a Sixers
Thunder.
fan, I watched Paul George drop 2 points last night against the Toronto Raptors.
Trash.
2 points.
That's crazy.
We get
Paul
rid of
George is out
Tobias
his
Harris
prime.
because we say how trash Tobias Harris is, and then we replace him with Paul George. The whole fan base is hyped up. They're like, "Oh my gosh, we have an elite power forward now," and he scores 2 points against the Raptors
I mean, he's out of his prime. I
in
think
like 27
Paul
minutes.
George is just a big name, and I think that's a main thing that like all these organizations, because it sells jerseys, it makes
Yeah.
them money. That to some extent, if you know that you're not going to win that specific
It makes
season, then
sense.
you want to sign a big name. That way you can sell jerseys and get money.
That's true. I know we've been talking about
It's a
the NBA,
business.
but you know this weekend's NBA All-Star Weekend.
Yeah,
I could honestly, I don't even care.
Yeah,
I really
this
don't.
is the first time I don't
even
care. I don't even know who's in the dunk contest.
The NBA this year sucks. I'm just waiting for the playoffs. Hopefully, we can have an interesting playoff run.
I
heading
mean,
into the
honestly, I was
finals.
gonna say like before the Luka Doncic trade, I wasn't even gonna watch this season.
Yeah.
But now that Luka Doncic is on the Lakers, it's like, I mean, you kind of have to because now it's exciting again.
Exactly.
You know, they made it exciting again.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
but
Well, that's enough for NBA on me, or for me
too.
anyway. One of the segments we like to do on this show, we like to do a Would You Rather,
hypotheticals of the week.
hypotheticals of the
Ooh,
week.
whoa.
So, my first question isn't a Would You Rather or What Would You Choose. Actually, no, it is a What Would You Choose. Who do you think is the funnier character in these animated cartoon series? Who is the funnier character? Peter Griffin from Family Guy or Eric Cartman from South Park? Who do you think is the funnier character to watch?
Okay, so here's the thing. Peter Griffin and Eric Cartman are completely unhinged.
Oh, both
like
menaces.
totally unhinged.
Mhm.
Now, the way that they do it is a little bit different because Peter Griffin is just kind of like he says some offensive shit. He like, you know, does just a bunch of random shit to his family and like he can be wholesome at points, but I feel like a lot of it just deals with like he's just so just random. Now,
He is random.
with Eric Cartman, imagine an 8-year-old killing your arch nemesis parents and then feeding them to him.
I forgot about that scene. I totally forgot. about
Imagine a kid who literally always comes up with new things to do
Mhm.
to make $10 million, but on the way he has to screw basically everyone else in his path. I think that Eric Cartman is the greatest cartoon character ever created. I think that
that's a big statement right there.
Okay. I think that the just amount of obscene and offensive things that he has done and the way that he has basically brought just a new kind of comedy to the world, I don't think that can be overlooked. And I think
he's just
Eric Carmen.
unhinged. He's
Well,
more
I think
unhinged than Peter Griffin.
I think Eric Carmen has to be the choice because although Family Guy is like hilarious, I think everything that they do on Family Guy is just amazing. Like just outstanding. Just comedy is just crazy.
Yeah.
But Eric Cartman alone basically pushes South Park to like the forefront of comedy, and they've been doing that for like almost 25, 30 years now. And he's
South
just,
Park's definitely a top tier show.
bro.
Definitely
He's got to be the funniest character ever. Like he's got to be. He's just funny. I mean, he's like, hey, you guys, hey, screw you, hippie. Like, bro, it's just fucking funny.
I feel yeah. I have to disagree. I think Peter Griffin's. I'm more of a Peter Griffin guy. I think Peter Griffin's more classy.
I wouldn't use the word
San
classy
Diego.
to describe him. I mean, he beats his wife, bro.
He does beat his wife.
He beats his wife. He freaking.
I've seen her beat his ass though.
Yeah, I mean, like that's just obviously he doesn't actually, beat.
I like the jokes that
50-50.
Family Guy, because I think Family Guy has a lot more old school references.
Yeah,
South
Family Guy is a different type of comedy. South Park is just like, bro,
it's more raunchy.
It's more raunchy. It's like, how do they even think of these things most of the time? It's
Well, I
like
mean, it's all just.
it's situational.
I kind of know why they think of it,
bro. It's just, I mean, the
how they think
creators.
of them.
So the creators. So I actually met Matt Stone, which is one of the creators.
Oh, wow.
I don't think he's Jewish, but Trey Parker's Jewish. Matt Stone is dating a black or married to a black woman, and I think that he's also like Catholic or something. So it's like, bro, all of the big ethnicities that they make fun of, they kind of can make fun of because they are them. You know what I mean?
That
Like,
makes
that's,
sense.
Like if I was Jewish and I made a Jew joke, then would you? I mean, it's self-deprecating humor at the end of the day. Like,
Yeah.
Are you gonna be mad at someone for making fun of themselves?
No,
You know what I mean?
not at all.
You know, and then.
I mean,
it's-
if someone's saying something like making a joke out of hate, that's completely different than someone making just a funny joke.
I mean, like if you're, I don't know, like if you're Catholic and you're making a Catholic joke, I mean,
It's true.
it's funny because you're making fun of yourself.
Yeah.
Like, what are you gonna do? Cry about it? Like I'm making fun of myself. I make Italian jokes all the time. I'm Italian.
Yeah.
It's funny. Like,
you
deal
can
with
make
it.
those jokes.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
You know, if
Exactly.
you're black, you can make black jokes. If you know, like if you're Latino, you can make Latino jokes. Who cares?
Yeah.
Why stop freaking crying about
people
everything?
are sensitive. People are
You know,
sensitive.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So, would you rather have to say everything that comes to your mind
Mm-hmm.
all the time, or never say anything at all?
So basically, let my intrusive thoughts win 24/7, 100% of the time,
Mm-hmm.
or just not speak.
Exactly.
It's a tough one. So I think it's some messed up stuff. So it's like
Bro,
a lot
my
of the stuff I
intrusive-
say and think would probably get me in trouble in a lot of different situations.
My intrusive thoughts winning would not be great, but I feel like I couldn't never say anything because that would just be like
Yeah,
a
that would
really
suck.
lonely. And
Honestly, I would just
boring
I
life.
would just do the intrusive thoughts.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever I say, I can live with my results. I would watch a lot of PG content to make sure I don't think those
well, it's like Tourette's. I mean,
inappropriate things.
you seen the South Park episode with Tourette's where
Well, of course.
Eric Carmen literally cannot. He gets to like he pretends to have Tourette's,
But when
and then he
you-
gets to a point where he
He
literally
actually
can't.
gets Tourette's.
Yeah, and then
It's
he
like
gets
my
to the
uncle
point-
touched me.
He's like, that's so funny. No, but it's literally living life like Tourette's. And to be honest, at
Yeah.
some point, if you just start saying like, I mean, I can't control it, then they're gonna think you have Tourette's.
That's
and
true.
then that's better than not saying anything because if you don't say anything ever, then how can you ever create
Exactly.
a relationship with anybody?
You
know?
can't. You're gonna live as a mute. I
Yeah,
don't know if
literally you
I don't
are,
know if
yeah.
I would want to live as a mute.
I
Final answer to that question. I would let my intrusive thoughts win.
Like,
Question number 3, good sir.
please.
Would you rather delete all of your social media for 6 months, or let Kanye run your X account for 2 days? And you have to take credit for everything that's said on that account. You can't throw anyone under the bus. It's you. You have to do it.
So basically, what you're saying is get really, really, really canceled, or just not have
Not have
social
social
media
media
for
for
6
6
months. Well, it'd be hard to make podcasts and post them if I didn't have access to social
That's
media.
true.
Would you be able to post them?
I mean, I could do it. Why not?
Oh, well then yeah.
I think
just
I'm
do
pretty
that.
tech savvy.
Bro, I can't
I'm
have
pretty tech savvy. I'd like to think so anyway.
Bro, I can't have Ye posting my shit for 2 days. He's just gonna say a bunch of anti-Semitic and just homophobic and sexist things.
How many? All right,
I
let's
can't
just say
have
it's your
that.
Instagram, not your Twitter account. How many followers do you have on Instagram?
Oh, like 300.
Like 300. Would
And
you
I
care if
don't
those
know
three?
them personally. Oh no.
But
well,
would
then
you
in that
really
case-
care if those 300 people?
Yeah, I
like
mean,
saw that stuff.
I'm private, so to be honest, like at that point, I'd do that. I'd do that because they all. I mean.
Well, everyone
they-
probably know it's a joke.
Yeah, because I mean, like after 2 days, I could just go and be like, yeah, Kanye was running this shit for 2 days, bro.
No, you can't say that. You have to take credit for it. Be like, man, I got really drunk. I had a bunch of drinks, and I just thought it'd be really funny.
Honestly, I can't think of too many people I'd even offend.
I mean, yeah, no, it's like if we say any of that stuff, we're not being serious.
Yeah,
You know what
exactly.
I mean? It's like
I
he's
think
being
people.
serious.
I think everybody that follows me knows me well enough to know that I would not actually post that shit and be
Exactly,
serious.
right.
So I think, yeah, if it's my private Instagram account, yeah, I would just let Ye do that shit for 2 days.
Final answer. Lock it
Final
in.
answer, locked it in.
There we go.
Would you save your best friend if it meant you had to kill 10 people?
Who are the 10 people?
Just 10 random people.
Oh, dude, I'm fucking. fucking going fucking Scarface.
Honestly, bro,
Fucking
you
going crazy. I mean, do
10
I have
random
to
people.
personally do it, or do they just like does something happen?
Would
to
it
them?
change your opinion if it was like this? You have to personally go and murder 10 people, not just like randomly.
Are they like in a line?
Yeah.
Are they just in a line, or do I have to like personally hunt everyone down and then?
No, I mean like you have to go serial killer mode.
Oh,
Like you have to
dude,
go.
I'm not going to jail for 100 years, 200 years, and making the news and being known as a serial killer.
Well,
Dude, I don't know, bro.
no, it's
killing
like this.
10 people?
You have to. So it's like the train track question. It's like I'm lying down on.
I'd rather
one side
answer
of
it
the
like
train
that
track.
because honestly, if
Well,
I have to
no,
go out of
yeah.
my way to do
I
that,
mean,
dude,
that's
I'm not.
No,
I'm not doing
it's like
that.
this. You press a button and 10 random people in the world die. But
Okay,
you save me.
I would do that.
Yeah. Okay.
I got you.
Or like
I would
you
do
have
that.
to walk up and you have to poison 10 people.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to do that. That's a terrible thing. I'd rather click the button, have no idea what's gonna happen, and I don't have to see it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And know it and live with it, than actually do the act. Because that'd be terrible. I don't know if I could do it.
No, yeah.
that'd be
You'd
a
press
tough one.
You'd press a delicious red button and 10 people
A
die.
delicious red button. Final answer. I clicked the button.
Boom.
There we go.
Thank you for saving me.
Of course, no problem. No problem. What are we? So, Tony, I know you've worked at jobs where you've liked the people you work with, and you look back at that experience and you say, "Oh man, I miss working at this place. I miss working with these people."
Yeah.
How important do you think people are when it comes to having jobs and keeping your job and how long you want to stay
Staying
with that
in
job?
the job?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, dude, it's so important. I think that people don't leave places, people leave people.
Of course,
like
yeah.
you said. To be honest, it's very difficult to be happy working somewhere if you don't like the people that you work with.
Of course.
Or like your managers suck.
Do the people that you work with give you more downs or more ups?
Oh, well, like the people that I work with?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I like the people I work with.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. There are some managers that I don't like.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of managers that I do like. All the other front desk agents I like because they're all nice.
Yeah.
It used to be really annoying because, like, out of nowhere, it would just be, like, very cliquey. And it felt like you couldn't really talk to some of the people because they're all kind of, like, sheltered and stuff.
Jobs can definitely be
Yeah.
clicky. They definitely can be.
But now it's not really like that at all. Everyone just kind of talks and everyone's pretty social. So, I mean, I like the people I work with. So.
Honestly, for the most part, I try to go to work. I feel like sometimes when I go to work, I'm too social. And this has pretty much been at all my jobs I've ever had. I'm like, oh man, I look back at it. I'm like, man, I wish I wasn't as social as I was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's better when you have a regular job. It's almost better just to stay low key and not try to be the center of attention and
All the
try to
time.
be Mr. Popular or Mrs. Popular
Yeah.
or whatever it is. It's better just to have a low profile, do your job to the best of your ability, and just try to just stay undercover.
Well, I guess my question to you then would be, is there anything wrong with just showing up to work, clocking in, doing your job, clocking out, and leaving? Or do you think there should be some type of social aspect that...
Well, I think there should be a social aspect, but here's the thing, though. If people try too hard at a regular job, then you're going to be stuck with more responsibility for probably the same pay, probably no promotion. They're just going to ask you to do more because you do more work.
Yeah.
So it's almost better just to go in, clock in, do your job, do the bare minimum, and just freaking just go and do it. The only reason I say bare minimum, if it's a job that you don't see yourself like building a career off of, there's no point of like trying to overachieve at that job.
I think that if you have a clear career path and like let's say you start at the front desk and your entire goal is to go from front desk to manager to operations manager to like or obviously there's a lot more rungs in the ladder, but like eventually get to CEO, then it's like, you know, you doing the bare minimum is not the greatest thing.
That's different. If you feel like you want to move up within that company, then of course you have to try your hardest. You have to overachieve. You have to
kind of stand out.
You
know? Like you have to kind of force them to notice you. You know what I mean? But if you don't see yourself, you know, doing any of that, and you're just working this job to get money, then I mean, like I wouldn't say bare minimum. Like you should at least try to you know, maybe like talk with guests and make them feel comfortable and stuff. Because then at least, you know, like especially for us, the more personable we are, the more tips that we get, the more upsells that we can get. You know, like that's a big portion of the money that we make in our job.
Being personable to the guest and showing a personality to the guest is completely different than showing that to your fellow coworkers or your boss or anything like that. The guest or the person you're trying to sell is the main person you need to put on the show for. You know what I mean? But let's just say it's like me, for example, I'm a server on the Strip. I'm trying not to be I'm still cool with everyone. You know what I mean? I like everyone. I joke around a little bit. But for you to be the center of attention and have everyone gravitate towards you is the worst thing possible. You know what I mean? I would rather shut up, keep my head down, and just freaking just do my job, get my money, and go home.
Well, that's because like you can't really trust anybody in the service industry. You know, like your coworkers, you can't really trust them because that's how you. But that's how you crash and burn. Because like you know, there's.
Well, that's how I got fired at my old job.
Like
so my old job, Outback Steakhouse. I worked there for 2 years. I was a bartender, manager, server. I did the whole thing, right? I had a bartending shift. I told them 2 days in advance, hey, I can't go to this. I have to go out of town for work. And they're like, but you didn't give us 2 weeks. I'm like, no, I need these days off. And they're like, okay, we'll give it to you. So they gave it to me, and I didn't give them a clear expectation of what I was doing. I went to Miami for 2 days, and I was just spam posting party clips of me at Mr. Jones and Coco and on the beach and everything like that. And I kept all my coworkers on my social media to see what I was posting. And so I come back to work, and my boss calls me in the office, and he goes like, hey, we need to talk. I'm like, what's up? And he's like, do you know what we're going to talk about right now? And I kind of had a feeling. I'm like, yeah, I think I know what you're going to say.
You're fired.
And he didn't fire me. I quit. But he
because he demoted you.
Yeah, he demoted me. And he was like, yeah, man, so you're just going to lie to me and you're going to say that you had this happen to you even though you posted all those videos of you in Miami and all that stuff. And I'm just like, I'm like, first of all, I never said anything bad happened to me. I said I have business to handle. And my business was going to Miami and trying to get with as many girls as possible. That was my business. I was trying to turn up. So, no regrets. You know what I mean? It's sometimes, and here's the thing. Sometimes you have to have those things happen in order for you to boss up. I brought that up is because my coworkers were the one who snitched on me, and they were looking at my videos and showing my boss, which is pretty crazy. So, big advice number 1, don't have your coworkers on your social media unless you're like 1,000% cool with them. If you're 50-50 and you have your coworkers on your social media, I would take them off.
Well, I mean, that's what happened at my job too. I mean, there was a girl that worked at the front desk. She worked at Tower Suites.
Yeah.
And she was out partying the night before her shift. Obviously, she called out.
Yeah.
And she was so she posted on her Instagram story, which is really stupid. I don't know why you would do this.
Yeah.
But she posted a video of her doing some very outrageous things. That's as far as I can go with that.
Shoot. Okay.
Let's just say they were not necessarily legal. and she posted it, and someone that used to work with her that still follows her on Instagram.
Yeah.
She basically snitched to one of the managers.
That's so terrible.
And the manager, and she only had it on her Instagram story for maybe 30 seconds, and then she was like,
she deleted it after?
Yeah, so
Wow.
the girl that posted it, she realized that she shouldn't be posting it. She deleted it 30 seconds later. But one of the 5 viewers that she had, was this girl who literally
wow.
went and snitched to the manager, and the manager brought it up to the head of the front desk, and the front desk, the head of the front desk guy, he basically said, well, we can't have that. This is not a good look.
Oh,
so
man.
you're fired. And then they fired her right on the spot.
That's terrible.
So it's snitches.
What was she doing? Was
stitches.
she doing coke or something?
Yeah. She was.
Why
doing
would you
coke.
post a video of you doing coke on
Well,
your
don't get
story?
me wrong. That's so stupid. But she posted for 30 seconds, then deleted it, and that girl decided.
That's terrible.
Honestly, that girl's a fucking piece of shit. Though. She's just
Is she fat?
no, she's not fat. That's the thing. She's like. I was
I
gonna
say
say,
because fat girls can be kind of fat women are snitches.
bro. I was gonna say she's decently sized.
Name
I
one
don't know how
fat
to
girl
say
who's
that.
not a snitch, Antonio, please. Other than Adele.
Adele's not even fat anymore, though.
No, I'm saying other than Adele.
I don't know, bro.
Name one fat girl who's not a snitch.
Oh, Jeanette McCarthy. Well, what's her name?
You're telling me Jeanette McCarthy wouldn't snitch on you for a
No,
donut,
not
Antonio?
Jeanette
You're
McCarthy.
telling me that?
Was the girl from iCarly? What's the?
No, that's Jeanette McCurdy.
Bro, she's Melissa McCarthy. That's what it is.
Oh shit.
She's fat, but she's funny. I like her. Amy Schumer.
I didn't mean
I
to
feel like
say
Amy
that.
Schumer is a fat snitch. Rosie O'Donnell
All right.
definitely.
You know,
would
Rosie
get
O'Donnell's for
slapped.
sure a fucking snitch.
Rosie-
She's for sure a snitch.
Bro,
All right, name
Trump-
one fat
Trump-
girl who's not a snitch, please.
I can't think of any. I can't think of any.
Exactly, proves my point.
But what were we
Oh,
saying
man.
before that?
Well, the other thing we were gonna bring up was transgender people, and I don't know if I can bring that up. I don't know if I can bring that up now.
Well, no, but that I feel like that's an important thing to talk about right now. Should transgender athletes be allowed to compete in women's sports?
No.
I don't think so either.
No, there's no
bro,
way.
That whole Leah Thomas thing got me out tripping out, bro.
That's a swimmer, right?
Yeah, that's the guy that was ranked 300th in men's collegiate athlete.
Gotcha.
Bro,
Dude,
hold on.
that
No,
thing is
chill for a second. Hold on, chill for a second. He was ranked 300th or something like that in men's collegiate, and then he went over to the women's side, and he won. He won everything. And
I mean,
he
he's
was,
the
ranked number
300th
one.
best male swimmer, and then he beats the number one women's swimmer. Remember what we talked about in the last podcast? Could you beat the 200th best tennis player right now?
Yeah.
200th best women's tennis player, and all of our TikTok comments were all telling us, no, there's 0% chance.
Yeah.
And you're
Yeah,
telling me
bullshit.
that a transgender dude can beat the best women's swimmer in the world?
Well, I think the biggest
Not
problem
in the world, but in
the
their region or whatever.
collegiate
Yeah,
it
collegiate.
was, it was collegiate sports.
Mm-hmm.
I think the biggest issue with letting Leah Thomas compete, because I don't know what the guy's first name, actual first name is.
Yeah.
But the biggest problem was that he would be changing in the women's locker rooms.
Yeah.
And there was a bunch of girls that were like, "This is unfair. He hasn't even had the sex change surgery." And it's bro, he's
so
it's the sky. Would you want your daughter,
Mm-hmm.
your daughter, to be competing against other men, and those men just identify as women, and then they go into the women's locker room and they're changing in front of them? It's a whole thing, bro. It's why would
Well, let
you
me
want
ask you.
that shit?
Let me ask you a counter question.
Please.
Would you want your transgender son losing to a bunch of dudes in a race, or getting first place against women every time?
I think that I train winners. So if that's what it takes.
So what's the answer to the question? Would you rather your transgender son lose in
No,
every race?
No, it's
Or-
about dignity and respect, bro. You're not changing sides just to fucking win.
Would you
because
go to the
have
race?
go against women instead of men.
Would you go to the race?
No, I would not.
I wouldn't go either.
I would be
I'd be like,
fucking-
yeah, I'm done.
I would absolutely not, bro. I would not go support that shit. I'm sorry.
That'd be hard to watch. Either way, I agree with Trump on that. I mean, I think it's so unfair.
It is. I mean, like,
I think women work women swimmers. You know how much conditioning it takes to be a good swimmer.
Yes, my girlfriend used to be, and it was like she would wake up at 5 a.m. every day, go from 5:30 until 7:30, 2 hours before going to school. Then go to school. Why are you laughing, bro?
I'm not laughing.
Then after school, she would have to go back to the pool for another 2 hours, and it's like that would happen like 4 days a week. It's like, bro, that's what I used to do for like soccer, tennis, track. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's a lot of hard work, and to basically tell women that they're not, you know, on the same level as men by letting transgenders compete in women's sports. I think that's fucking bullshit.
It's messed up.
So,
I mean, how would you feel about a transgender woman competing in a men's sports?
There was a transgender woman that competed in men's sports.
Would you be okay with that?
Bro, I don't give a shit. They're not beating men, bro.
Well, I know they're not, but that's the point, though. That's the point, though. Would you be okay with a transgender woman that's becoming a man competing in men's sports?
I think that...
Or you think you should just abolish all of it altogether?
I think that if you're born a woman, you should compete in women's sports. If you're born a man, you should be competing in men's sports. That's how I see it. You can call me conservative all you want.
I agree with that.
But at the end of the day,
I think the majority of America agrees with you on that. I think there's the weird 5% who...
you know,
who wears their Fila's at the park.
Bro, it's not even like... and they have the fidget spinner. They go hang out at the children's playground and shit.
Exactly. There's the 5% that no one's going to be happy. Thank you, everyone, for watching this video. I truly appreciate it.
Please like, subscribe, and follow us. And anything else you want to add, Matthew?
Tune in to future episodes of the Close Enough podcast. Turn on our notifications. Check out our TikTok page. Check out our Instagram. We appreciate everyone for watching.